In the early 90s, I was the first person to interview Daft Punk. My partner Jono was the first person to interview the Chemical Brothers. We felt excited and privileged that we were on that journey with them right from the very beginning. Being young is a superpower, isn't it? So when you're in your 20s, you feel like you can do anything and you feel like you can achieve anything. That's how I felt. And I felt like no one was going to hold me back. In my early 20s, I knew there was only one thing that I wanted to do, which was to be a music journalist. I finished university and I asked some established magazines if I could write for them. They said no, and I thought, what am I going to do now? Then no one will give me a job. So we decided to start our own magazine. And the funny thing is that after we ran our own magazine, those magazines in London ended up offering us work. By starting our own thing, the people that we wanted to work for ended up coming to us. And then eventually we started getting the magazines all the way around the country and into London and other places. And it just grew from there very organically. I'm Paul Benney, the co-founder of Disco Pogo magazine. When I was a teenager, we'd had a program every week called Top of the Pops, Thursday night, which was the only way that we could see pop stars like David Bowie or the Smiths or whatever on the television. But I started getting interested in music that wasn't a bit more left field than that by my brother, who introduced me to bands like Talking Heads, just other things that weren't so pop. I became obsessed with music and obsessed with bands like the Smiths, but I knew that I wasn't going to be a musician. I didn't have that musical talent. But the people that wrote for the NME that I wrote every week, I wanted to be like them. I wanted to have their lifestyle. I wanted to be as close to musicians and music. And yeah, I didn't see any other path. I didn't see that I was ever going to get a job, a normal job. I always knew that if I was just absolutely determined to only do a job that was involved in music, maybe it would happen. I finished university and I asked some established magazines like the NME if I could write for them. They said no, so we decided to start our own magazine. We thought we could do something different, a bit punkier, more fanzine-y about the music that we were into. So we came up with Jockey S magazine. Young men really into music who were hanging around the DJ booth, trying to find out what DJs were playing. Because in the early 90s, there was no Shazam, there was no internet. So the idea that we were going to raise some money to start our magazine was not something that was ever discussed. The only way that we were going to get a magazine off the ground was to scrape some money together personally, print the magazine, work for free, sell it, print another one, sell some more advertising, sell some more copies, keep doing it. I believed in what we were doing so much that the fact that I had no money didn't bother me in the slightest. We just lived on very little, as long as we had enough money to keep doing what we were doing. I took the photographs, wrote all the content on an Apple Mac with an A4 black and white screen. Took it to a local printer, got it printed, made 1,000 copies, sold it for 99 pence, sold it in a famous record shop called Eastern Bloc in Manchester. We did it on what's called sale or return, so all the money we made we would put into the magazine, and each time we try and print more copies. And we just grew every issue. We grew out of Manchester into other northern cities. I used to drive to other northern cities, and then eventually we started getting the magazines all the way around the country and into London and other places. I felt completely invincible. I felt like I could do anything that I set my mind to. And it's not true, you can't do anything that you set your mind to. You can do some things though, and you have to learn what are the things you can do and what are the things you can't do. Well, we had sold the magazine to another publisher because we didn't have any funding or investment, but we had grown to be quite big. But at the time, it felt like magazines should be monthly. We were printing the magazine every 2 months because we needed to sell the advertising and sell the magazine and then get all the money back before we could print the next issue. And there was no way that we could do it on our own. So when another publisher came along and said that they were interested in buying the magazine, making the magazine monthly, and us being so exhausted from trying to do it all on our own, we were interested in that deal. In 2004, my understanding is they overstretched themselves financially. All of a sudden, overnight, it went into administration. I was really disappointed when that happened as well. Also heartbreaking that something comes to an end. Back then I started a magazine called Dummy Magazine after Jockey S closed. It was an attempt to do something different. Well, I made Jockey S and it was successful, and I can do it all again, no problem. And it wasn't as easy as that. Jockey S was a special thing at a special time. It was hard to recreate that success. in recent years when I realised that? Well, honesty and authenticity are really important. So people can tell when you're doing things for the right reasons. And if you're doing something that you really believe in, sometimes people can see that. And that can often lead to you being more successful doing things that you really believe in. So we started Jockey S magazine in 1993, and then I started Dummy magazine about 2004. And like I said, it wasn't as easy as I hoped it would be. When lockdown happened in 2020, my partner in Jockey S and one of our heroes, Andrew Weatherall, passed away. Jono suggested that we could do a book about Andrew Weatherall with all of the interviews that we had with him. We hoped that we might sell about 1,000 copies. We ended up selling 9,000 copies.
Wow, yeah.
And we made £60,000 for charity. And lots of people started saying, you should restart Jockey S magazine. I had no intention of doing that. I thought, I've been there, I'm not doing it again. But then the book was so enjoyable to do and so successful that we thought, well, maybe we could do a new magazine of some kind, inspired by Jockey S. That's how Disco Pogo came about. But yes, honesty and authenticity are, more important than ever. We're interviewing lots of artists that are now a bit older and they've lived a bit and they've got stories to tell. Maybe they've had difficulties in their life. They've had some ups and downs, mental health issues, or maybe they've had some addiction issues.
Like personal stories.
Personal stories.
Yeah.
So that can be really inspiring. They can talk about struggles that they've had and how they've come out the other side.